Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be making a video titled How to Survive College 101 without the 101. So this video is intended for anyone who are freshmen who just went into college. Congratulations! And to anyone that's trying to survive, like you're getting there, you're in 7th or 8th semester. I really wanted to make this video because from a sister who graduated late, I feel like there was definitely some things that I could have done better that would probably speed up my graduation process and would have made my campus life easier. Number one, this is probably a tip for those of you who just entered college or in like the early stages of college. Try to do your best from the very beginning. This is not something to take lightly. I know that it may seem like, oh, the beginning is the hardest because you're just trying to figure things out. Trust me when I say that the beginning is actually the easiest. Like if you go to your classes, if you listen, if you take notes, if you do your tests, then you're practically good to go. Try to do really well in the beginning so your GPA, your grade point average, will be high in the beginning, and if you have a little stumbles and falls along the way, it will gradually go down. But it would be a different case if you already fumbled your beginning and you don't go to classes, you never take tests. It would start really low and it's really hard to get it up. I know that may be different if you're striving to get cum laude, but I'm just trying to survive, man. The second tip is to find your solid group of friends. I am so grateful that I found my solid group of friends. These dudes really just help me in everything. If I am sick and I didn't go to class one day, some friend of mine would have already taken notes. We have like a little group on WhatsApp and we kind of just update each other. Hey, I mean, like, make friends with everybody. That's a given. Like, make friends with everybody. But it's totally okay to have, your super tight group of friends, because if not, it's really hard to, rely on someone who isn't reliable. And don't worry if you haven't found your solid group of friends in the first semester, second semester, third semester, fourth semester. I found my group of friends. I think I kind of changed friend groups, if you know what I mean, and that's totally normal. Like, I was hanging out with different people, then I found them like towards the end of my campus life. So it's totally fine if you feel a little lost in the beginning, but you will get there. Just make sure that you open yourself and you're ready to make friends, you don't shy away from people. Be a friendly person. Number 3 is to get into an organization or be involved in an event. For me personally, I was quite active in an organization, but I didn't choose the one that everybody wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like, I know that there are organizations where people are just lining up to become a member. Try to, find your niche. It's okay not to go with the flow. I take law, but I had like a performing arts organization, so that's what I joined. But yeah, definitely try to get at least into one organization because it will help you a lot. I don't know how to say this, but connections are made a lot during college. And if you don't connect with any organization, it's hard to like break the barrier of senior and junior. One of the ways to break that barrier is to get into an organization. If you don't have time for any organization, try to be involved in an event. For me personally, since obviously I'm into everything and anything entertainment, I was involved in an event, in a music event. I learned a lot about event organization and about bands because I was actually the one who had to sign the bands. A really, really good opportunity that I don't think I would be able to have in, the actual world. Number 4, this is important, but eliminate pressure by not studying the day before a test. How do I say this properly? Back when I was in college, I used to do that all the time. In Indonesia, we call that SKS, or Sistem Kebut Semalam, and that's when we actually try to cram everything the day before a test. What I really wish I did was just listen in class. I mean, now that I look back at it, it's not that hard. I know that some classes can be quite boring. Oh, such a snooze fest. But at least try to pay attention, or at least if you can't pay attention in class, when you go back home, try to read the materials that your professor gave you and you will be set. What I used to do is I used to actually cram a whole like half semester worth of information, and although I didn't do that bad, I didn't do good either. Our brain can only take so much information during a night's sleep. If you don't want to be under pressure, don't get yourself into that much pressure. Number 5 is do not procrastinate. And this specifically goes to para pejuang skripsi, or those of you who are in your last year of college and you are doing your thesis, your final project, your whatever you need to do to graduate. Don't procrastinate. And I'm here telling you, I know I graduated 5.5 years, and it took me around 1.5 years just to do my skripsi, but if I had a time machine, I would take that whole time back, because I knew that if I really was consistent and if I was really focused, I could have finished that dang skripsi in probably 5 months tops. But I wasn't. I kept lying to myself. Honestly, when people asked me, oh, how far are you? I would say, oh, I'm in chapter 3, bab 3, but I actually haven't started. So I don't know, I constantly lied to myself, and I kind of wired my brain to think that I'm almost done when I haven't started. So that's what really made me, just pile up, and that's why it took me so long. But once I actually got in the mojo of doing it, it's hard to make a habit, but once you do have a habit, it's hard to stop it too. That's it for my tips personally. If you think I missed any tip, go ahead and comment down below. If you like these kind of college videos, tell me, I'll do more. And if you are watching this while procrastinating on your work, click out, but like the video first.